All right, we're here at Midpond again for some driving, but a little bit different today. Not my day, not a Drift University day. That's what we're normally here at Midpond for. But it's actually a grip day that Jared Pink and I are kind of crashing when we brought our drift cars, but they're gracious enough to let us do a little bit of driving, shake these things down. I got the Wild Willies Corvette up there, trying to shake it down for the approaching Clutch Kickers event. I've done a bunch of stuff to this thing that I'll go over with here shortly, but follow along, should be a good time. Going through it here. We got Chris's 67 Firebird LS T56. I love this car. He lives just down the road from me in Sonoma. This is definitely one of my favorite cars right now. Very like Stonewall vibes. It's a cool car. Obviously we got my Wild Willies car. I'll kind of go over some of that stuff here later. Got Jacob's 67 El Camino that we've taken to Texarkana and back.
Yes, sir. It's a little different than when we did that, though.
Yeah, a lot different. Now it's got big brakes and some sweet Konig wheels, a new custom front end because he may or may not have dropped his lift on it.
We don't need to talk about it.
It's got a 6-liter engine in it now. Had a 5.3, had a 4.8 that we thought was a 5.3 when it went to Texarkana, but
and it's actually nice now.
yeah, it's a very nice engine, but it's a real different car than when we drove it last. So
yeah,
very, very cool. Great job on this thing.
oh yeah.
Got an 84 Camaro. This thing is sitting right, stanced out. Really, really nicely done Camaro here. This is probably my favorite first-gen Camaro maybe I've ever seen. Just a lot of really subtle, nice touches with the blacked out trim, the chin spoiler, really super clean LS swap. It's got a cage in it, Corbo seats, obviously manual trans, the only way to do it. Nice looking set of wheels. Love the blacked out trim, and I really love the flush mounted rear window. Just a really nice car. You know, I'm a sucker for Mustangs. I had a lot of these things growing up in high school and college. Got I think a 01 Cobra GT with 0304 Terminator bumper on it. These things should be pretty fast, pretty cool. Another 69 Camaro LS swap. Got the black stripes. Much more stock interior on this one. Pretty neat. And then very similar to our Drift University 350Z. So should be pretty fun day here. Ken says the track record here is like 41 and some change. So we'll see if anybody gets close to that. I'll go back and tell you about the Wild Willies car. All right, it's pretty cool. Chris just pulled off, but not often you get to see old cars ripping around all the time, grip driving or drifting or anything. But Jacob and I just went out and took these things out. Jacob's car did really well, stop's awesome. Wild Willie's car did the best it's ever done. I did like, I don't know, 6 or 8 laps, some grip, some drift. Really, really good. So super pumped about the car. All right, so some changes we've done to the Wild Willie's car since you last saw it at Clutch Kickers, and it kind of failed miserably, honestly. So just to go over it, this is a 2008 Corvette. It is a completely stock LS3 long block. So stock cam, stock head, stock valve springs, stock rods, pistons, crank, all of that stuff. I have got Wisefab front suspension on it, Yellowspeed 2-way adjustable coilovers on it, handbrake, stock diff, stock torque tube. I did put a fuel cell in it. You can see that here, kind of. I put a firewall in it, so it'll be legal for anywhere we go. And then it's got the Edelbrock E4 supercharger on it. That's the biggest thing. And since the last time I put an A&A Corvette front drive kit on it, so basically what that does is make it drive on a dual belt drive, and I'll go over that maybe in another video a little bit more in depth. But it also uses a Innovators West balancer on it that it makes it 10% overdrive, so it's going to make a little bit more boost. Went down to Nicholas Auto Repair. Nicholas does all our tuning for the most part. We need to get this thing on FuelTech. It'd run a lot better, but it ended up making 686 horsepower and 630 something foot-pounds of torque on a stock bottom end LS3, which is really kind of unbelievable to me. Just really, really impressive numbers for what it is. I know if we put a good comp camshaft in there and good valve train to support it, this thing could probably make 750, 775, I don't know. A lot of potential, so really impressed with it. At some point I'll obviously do that, and I'll probably put a good set of rods and pistons to support that kind of power. But about to go see how this thing does, both grip and drift, as we prepare for Clutch Kickers, so should be fun.
Bad move to leave the fire extinguisher.
I guess the whoof I felt was probably behind me, not ahead of me.
It lit up and came forward.
It's a good thing there's a firewall there.
Yeah. It's kind of scary how much it's deformed.
Yeah, that's wild.
Was it straight?
I just felt it all at once. That's not what I was hoping for.
The window was still intact.
But you can see the fiberglass is melted back into the.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get all this shit out of here.
It's not good.
Oh yeah, whoever was standing down.
They caught on fire.
I'm not gonna do that.
That'd be a bad
Oprah.
Yeah.
So this is Jared blowing out my all the halon from my car catching on fire.
I mean, I put a lot of it in, so it's only fair.
It is.
And I asked permission before breaking your window. So.
Yeah. So that's kind of the story. The car caught on fire. I thought it was out. I thought it came from the front, but it didn't. It came from the back. So I tried to pop the hatch, but it had already burned up the wiring to the hatch popper, and I have a firewall in the car, so I couldn't get back to it. And I'm like, it's on fire. I don't know how to get in. I can't pop the hatch. And Jared's like, break the glass. And I'm like, that's a great idea. So then he proceeded to throw the entire fire extinguisher through the back window, let go of it. So then we had to use another one to break the rest of it out and start actually.
Oh no, I threw my hand in the fire and grabbed it back out.
Yeah, so
It was exciting.
it was big. It was big. I don't want to do this again anytime soon, but now we're making an even bigger mess, but thanks to Ken for letting us borrow tools. So you can see here, this is my fuel cell. I've got the cap off right now because I've been trying to look for leaks. This is my wiring. I just had to jump something over there just to see if it was going to work. It's working again now. This is the return line. It got burned up a little bit. Got to replace that. This is where the wiring goes in for the fuel pumps. But both of these are fuel pumps. I had to add this fitting for the second pump. But this is the fitting that failed. There's a little gasket right there. And it cracked and looks like it was loose. So when that failed, it started leaking fuel down through here, started filling the bottom of the cell. It's got a hole in the bottom, I guess a drain relief. So it started coming out through here, then started filling these crevices as I started driving the car, and these started to get full. It leaked down through here, which is right behind the exhaust. So then the car backfired one time, ignited the whole thing. It went up in a big ball of fire. You can actually see a little bit right here. When it ignited, it blew that way and blew the firewall inward. A couple little spots obviously need to seal up where fire came through right next to my head, and burned a bunch of wiring up in here. But definitely not something I want to experience again. But thanks to all the people who helped save the car. I was out pretty quickly and didn't feel like really in any real danger, but definitely helped save the car.